Oh, yeah. What's going on, everyone? How y'all doing today? Oh, it's a bit different today. Whoa. Gotta get in that seat. Ooh, man. I need a massage. That's what I need. I need a massage. Pretty heavily. It'd be really nice. So I'm working with this new headphone, or an earphone. Yeah, exactly, Rusty, exactly. I'm trying to try this out. All right, here we are. Thursday, January 13th, the second Thursday of the year already. Can you believe it? We're almost finished with 2022. It's almost 2023. Can you imagine? In about what, 48 weeks, we'll be like, oh, the year was so fast. Right now, it's all real slow. No, it's not slow. Actually, it's been crazy this week. Like, I had a bit of a COVID scare. So I was hanging out with someone that I know, and we were hanging out for like 2 days, or twice over 2 days, and hanging out and having meals and stuff, and then suddenly he calls me up on Monday. He's like, I came up positive on the home test. I was like, what? It's like, good Lord, man, you're killing me. So finally, I was kind of riding it out. I went to the clinic. There's a clinic locally here, not too far away from where I live, that actually does walk-ins, because Walgreens and CVS and all that, they're all like booked. And I'm like, gee, I could be dead before I get my appointment with these guys. And so I went down to this place on Monday, and they were like, well, it's a 2.5 hour wait. I was like, yeah, I got nothing better to do now. And so, but they were like, you need to it's better to have like 5 days. So I was like, well, okay, well, when's 5 days? Okay. Last contact was Saturday, so 5 days would be Wednesday. So let me go Wednesday. So I went yesterday, and good thing I waited till Wednesday, because I waited till Wednesday, went in around 11 or so, 10 o'clock, even though the girl was like, oh, you should come in like at 7 when we open so that you can get into the front of the line. It'll be the best time to come. And I was like, But, I just didn't get up. That's really what it comes down to. I was like, I'll get there. So I finally went down there on Wednesday, and yesterday. And so I went in, and there's almost nobody there. So I pretty much got in within like 15 minutes. And the staff, they were super friendly, actually really nice. And it's really interesting to go to a easy care, quick medical care kind of place, because you go in and they give you like this, they do a workup on you. So blood pressure and like how you're breathing and all this stuff. And that was kind of interesting. It's much different than when you go to the Walgreens. You just kind of get the thing at the drive-thru, shove it in your nose, and then move on. And then the funny thing is that the PA, the physician assistant, she was like, all right, we're going to have your test ready. But it takes about 10 minutes. I was like, 10 minutes? I really want the PCR. They're like, oh, yeah, but we do the antigen test. And then we also send it to the PCR. So the PCR will come in a couple days, and the antigen will be ready in 10 minutes. Oh, okay. But you're free to go. Oh, okay, good. And then she was like, well, so don't worry. So if it's positive, we'll call you. If not, then, we won't call you. I was like, oh, okay. So I went, I did my thing, and like waiting. I really wasn't waiting. I just kind of doing my thing. Then like a few hours later, like maybe like 3, 4 in the afternoon, I was like, hey, they haven't called me. Like, oh, they didn't call me. Thank God. So I actually looked it up, and they already emailed it to me. And it was like negative, which was good, because actually I thought for sure that I was going to get it, because we were like hanging out, like close proximity, just kind of like, what up, and so it's like, that was crazy. But anyway, so looks like I'm in the clear, but then there are cases where she said that antigen said negative, and then PCR says positive. So hope springs eternal for that one. Anyway, we're here. And like Rusty said, I'm trying out a new earbud. I've been in the motion picture business. There's this company that was started by sound recordists, guys that work on location sound for motion pictures. And they've come out with a line of headphones that are, more designed for set use. And so if you're not familiar on a set of a movie set, there's a sound guy. Of course, the sound team is recording the sound that's happening during production, and they are, they have what we call courtesies, and courtesies are these transmitters. So you have these transmitters, and they basically they're transmitting the sound to anyone that wants to hear. Producers, director, script supervisor, some of the department heads, and any, like, let's say, like set visitors that are like important VIPs that want to listen in. And so this guy, so the ones that they have that usually come out there, the headphones are really, really cheap, and they break and whatever. And so this guy Duck Johnson decided that he wanted to start up a new thing where he was going to make something of quality that has decent fidelity at a very, very reasonable price. Like, these are super crazy reasonable, and I've been very interested in their stuff. And so what I'm listening to here is the field monitor. And this is a real simple mono earbud with a hook, but the hook, my ear, it just doesn't work very well, right? It's the width here, the height just doesn't, it always pulls it out. So I just shove it in here, and I just got them last week, right after I got them like Friday or something. And so I wanted to give them a try. And this is actually the one that I wanted to use for the live stream, because, after a while you get a little bit tired of wearing the big headphones, right? Even though these are pretty comfortable. And actually the fidelity of these are the Sony MDR V600s. These are much better, of course, fidelity-wise, but, and yes, absolutely. He is a doctor, so these are what's called the field monitors. And then he has something called the scene monitors. And these are real simple headsets it's called Halter Technical, right? I actually have a video on my other channel about it, on the Ono Tech channel, which is new. Anyway, so these are real simple stereo, and the little stereo plug. And the nice thing with these is you can buy these in, they sell these in 10 packs for super cheap. These are like $18. These are 20. This is 25, 18. And this is the version 2, so you can remove the foam and replace it. And then they fold down, so you can fold them flat, so you can stack them. So they're kind of nice. I mean, here's the thing: they're not delivering the same performance of something like this, right? But for what they are, I think they're hella good. Like these other ones. Here I have these. These are what's called the Elite, and these are like more padding here and more padding and bigger things. So it's a little bit nicer. Which reminds me, I've also got something that I picked up today. This microphone. So I saw this on YouTube last week. Actually, not even last week. It was maybe like 2 days ago at the longest. It's the Video Mic Go 2 from Rode. And it's got all these features. I'm not going to go into it, but I was at Service Photo today. I was like, and I just happened to see it on their shelf. I was like, whoa, they got it out already. So I picked it up, and I'm using it here. You're not hearing it at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, before we get to our coffee segment, I'm going to move over to that. So let me take this off. So here, let me know if I lose it, then let me know. But I'm going to go into the system and switch over. Okay, so here we go. We're going to switch. Right now I'm using this thing called the RE20, which is a really more proper broadcast microphone. That's very classic. I've actually had this one since 1998. And that's really what I use on this show, pretty much most of the entirety of the show. So now we're going to switch to this new Video Mic Go 2. All right, so now I can't really tell, to be honest with you, because this microphone allows me to plug this headset into the microphone itself so that I can directly monitor the sound. But I do believe, are we still rolling? Yeah. Let me know if you can hear this, if it sounds how it sounds to you. But this is how it sounds, and so it's going to be a little bit different. It's meant really for, I think, on-camera mics, that kind of thing. And so The nice thing about it is that I'm actually running it in through a USB connection. So this is USB, runs in, and that's how it's being connected. Where the other microphone, I'm actually running it through a mixer that goes into the. All right. So let's see here. Rusty says, picked up your cigar from the last podcast. Oh, nice. Did you get me one? What? The sex toy business no longer looks for? Yes. Doc Johnson has moved into a different business. COVID was really tough on him. All right. Yeah. So it sounds a bit hollow. Yeah. That makes sense. It doesn't have the dynamic range that the RE20 has. And man, you can really hear. Did you hear that truck? Like I was hearing things earlier today when I was playing around with it, with this kind of setup, where it was very much like I could hear the ticking of the clock because of the way this is tuned. And actually, let me put the other headphones on so I can hear what it sounds like. Because right now I'm using the Elite monitors from Halter, and there's going to be a little bit of crack. Sorry. All right. How does that? Oh, man, there's such a performance difference between these and these. Wow, like it's so much quieter in my. Oh, you could hear the truck. Okay. So actually, wow, really, it's really something else, man. This is something else. All right. Well, anyway, we're going to stick with this for just a few minutes, even though it doesn't sound as nice for our use today. And this is something that I was actually using. So for on camera mics, I've actually been using this as a comparison, right? This is the Movo VXR10, and it's smaller, more compact, a little bit half the price of this one that I just got. This is actually the sound. This is actually the microphone that I was using during the live stream in Riyadh. So I just kind of mounted it on a little stand and like whatever, Anyway, so we're going to do coffee now, right? So we're going to do coffee. Today's coffee is we got something special, right? So when I was in Riyadh, this roaster I know, this woman, Fatin, she called me up and she's like, hey, we want to hang out. All right, let's hang out. So she brought me to one of her clients. She owns her own coffee roastery in Riyadh, a woman roaster. And she's like, hey, want to take to my customer's place. So we went to her customer's place. This was a shop called Mid-Sajj. Here's their logo. A nice little bag they gave me, which I got dirty just when I was grinding the coffee. So, and they gave me this coffee as a gift because we were visiting, and that was very nice of them. And this is what they call the Panama Gesha. And the Panama Gesha is a very, very well-regarded type of coffee in the world today. My mentor got the first batch of it back in 2005, so I've been drinking it since then. And so it's a Panama Gesha Natural. However, it doesn't say which farm it came from. I think she might have told me, but I don't recall. But they were very kind to let me have this. And I'm totally not used to this. So I totally cut the top here, but because the top was sealed, but then I just realized now that this is the sealed top where you pull the tab and then you have it open. Oh, gosh, Americans. We're so like, and then I see with this Mid-Sajj place, they have these little like cards for their coffee that have little art on them. And I thought it was very pretty. So I grabbed these, right? So they do these artwork on their cards. And then on the back, they have the, things about the coffee, like this one's by Colombia La Floresta, and they talk about the brewing guide and all that. So it's kind of nice. So here's the Panama Gesha Natural. This is the card for the coffee. We're using Louis Toffoli from 1976, Poussé Poussé. And so here's their recommended drip coffee recipe. 95 degrees, 1/15, 3 minutes, and medium fine. Nice. We're not going to follow that. So today, but this is some soigné coffee, right? This is very soigné. This is very fancy, very expensive kind of stuff. Everybody loves it, you know. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do some soigné fancy brewing for it. Oh. If I don't drop the microphone first. Oh, here we go. 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 All right. All right. So for today, because, you know, this is some fancy coffee, I thought we'd do some fancy brewing and bust. Oh, sorry. Sorry. This was not well rehearsed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, now I'm all confused. Now I'm all confused. Hang on one second. Oh, are we back? Are we back? All right, we're back. All right, so here we are. This is the siphon. For those of you who know this fancy soigné kind of coffee. So we're doing soigné coffee with soigné kind of like brewing devices. Yeah, Rusty, you're right. This is the first time I've done the siphon. I've been trying to think about how really this is the best way to do it. Like it's really more difficult if I stacked it on the, if I was stacking it on the desk like with the boxes. All right, so this is the way we do siphon. We'll turn on, we're using the halogen burner. We're going to add about 2 cups worth of hot water. There's a line somewhere here that says 2 or 3. This is what they call the TCA3, 3-cup brewer. And the siphon is this is the part that I haven't really compensated for. So the siphon is a 2-chamber, double-chamber brewing device that was actually invented in the United States and then kind of fell out of popularity over the years. And really, in Japan is really where they've become like crazy obsessed with this. Like they call it siphon or vacuum pot, same thing. And where they have like championships, world championships, and like they're super hardcore. Like there's cafes in Japan that only do this. It's one of the more complex brewing methods around. Nice sopranos. I like that. And so, Rusty, you caught that. You know I'm leaving out the other half of it. All right, so the thing is, so we're using this. So I've got the hot water kind of preheated, and then, oh, turn this on. Can y'all see enough, or should I turn? I'll turn this light on. See if it helps more. Yeah, that helps a little bit. So I preheated the water, and you know you could use the halogen burner to heat the water all the way through from cold, but that just takes it takes a long time. This will take long enough waiting for it to happen now. See, as you can see, we're waiting a while. Now, here's the interesting thing is that you can see the bubbling starting to happen right here. If you don't put this chain at the bottom of the orb, it will not bubble. It will actually get to the point where it gets so heated that it actually blunks out of here, causing a mess in super hot water. It's really a bit of pain. And that's because the halogen, I think because the halogen heat source is radiating the heat, right? It's sending it infrared or whatever it's doing. And so there's nothing touching. Like if you have a flame touching the bottom, like if you use a butane burner, that's not a problem. But in this case, it is. I found that out the hard way. I could, but you know what? Here's the thing. It's a lot more. The way the whole setup here, it's much more difficult to do that than you might think. Like unlike a lot of people that you might watch and you might see on YouTube with their desk setups, I don't really have ready access to the back of it where the camera's mounted. So I kind of have to jump over the desk. And now with this table on it, it's made it like doubly further than. So I was thinking about that earlier. And I just decided I'll just bend over more. Plus I can actually, if I squat, it'll give me some quads working out. Right. Yasmina, what's going on, Yasmina? Oh, by the way, Tony, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm sorry I didn't call you. It's because of the COVID scare that I've been hiding out. I have your vacuum sealer. Awesome. Thank you very much. It was great. Really helpful. And I will get back to you soon. Now, once I get the PCR clearance, then I can finally go back out. I've actually been hiding out here at the roastery from like 7 a.m. till like 1 a.m. Like yesterday, I was watching live streams all night. This guy that I follow on YouTube, his name is Sound Speeds. He has he did a live stream last night that started at like 9 o'clock, and ran till almost 2 a.m. So it was pretty crazy, but good stuff. I mean, if you're into sound, it's very good stuff. So now we're waiting. This is what I'm saying. It takes a long time. So usually what I do is like I would like to boil it, like have a hard boil going before I add the water. But today it's hard to do that because I usually have to pull the water off about 2-3 minutes before we actually start the show so that I can have everything set up and ready to go. Sometimes at the roastery, at the old Hampton shop, what I would do is actually have a little butane burner. I would jump it with that. So we had a preheated water tower, fill it up, hit it onto the butane to really like get it going, and then drop it on here to finish it. So as you could probably hear it. So the idea behind this type of brewer is that we've got the hot water here. Then the water will go into the upper chamber for the brewing session. Between the two, right here, where the chain is connected to, is this metal and cotton flannel filter. So the water goes up and the coffee gets, infused. But then what we do is at the end of the brew cycle, we're going to kill the heat. It's going to create a vacuum in the lower chamber that's going to suction the brewed coffee through the filter, separating the two. Now you can see it's really boiling. So we're almost to the point there. So here's the thing. It's very critical to get it right. So the technique that we're using is very critical. And you need to have everything at the ready, which I don't have. Somewhere here is a timer. Sometimes you think you got everything ready, but then you don't. All right, I've got my phone. So now we got a hard boil, and here's the thing. So I would start it, but here's the once you start, you really need to rock and roll with it. We only have 35 seconds to do the whole process. Using 24 grams of finely ground coffee, and come on. Here we go. So I'm going to start the time. 35 seconds. You can kind of see it there. All right, now we got a hard boil. So we're going to add the two, raise it all the way up, add the coffee, make sure it's saturated, wait 35 seconds, and then stir and kill the heat. All right, here we go. Raising the water, so you can see the water's coming up. Now, if you're doing this in an environment that's kind of exposed to cold, you got to watch out, because I've had it at one of our old shops where the cool air would flow through the room when it was rising, and it would just collapse the whole thing because the orb got a little bit cold and it collapsed the entire deal. All right, so now we're up. We're going to turn it down just slightly. Now we're going to add the coffee. Make sure it's fully saturated. Now we're going to wait 35 seconds. After 35 seconds, I'm going to kill the power, give it a good stir, and then remove remove the stir without disturbing the rotation, the vortex that we're creating, right? And that vortex is going to leave like a mound. So when you have a mound, if you can touch a mound when it's finished, you've done it correctly. All right, here we go. Rob, what's going on? Okay, 32, 33, 34, 35. So now I'm going to turn, twist. The key is to pull this stick out, without disturbing the flow. Oh, yeah. How are you doing there, Rob? Good to see you. And then Buddy says, that's everything. Absolutely. Same kind of technology. Now, as you can see, it's starting to fall, right? Now, it's not starting to fall so much. It's still clear here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to wrap it just a little bit. And even though it's totally dry at room temperature, it's cool enough that it's going to fall. Oh. All right, so there it is. Done. Look at that. Nice little like mound. Could have been more moundy. I would have liked it more moundy. That would have been good. 60-watt white bulb. You could bake a cake with that one, remember? The easy bake. Good times. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I've got this. We got the coffee here. Now we just got to pull this off. Now here's the thing. If you ever go to, oh, come on. There we go. If you ever go to a coffee shop that serves this, if they don't tell you, and they should. Anyone worth their salt will tell you this. This is the hottest coffee you'll ever be served. Like that McDonald's stuff, this is more hotter than that. This will burn you. This is, I don't know what time. Oh, I left the, oh, wait a minute, I'll see. I have this because I've been testing something all day today. Okay, so we've got our temperature gauge. Stick the probe in. Look at that, 196 degrees. This stuff is blazing. This is crazy. So when we would serve this at Spro, I would always tell people, hey, man, give it some time because this stuff is like super heated. Super heated. Look at that. Crazy. All right, now Rusty's calling me out here. If you're doing soigné coffee, your mug better be soigné. So here's the mug. We cannot take, so here's the thing. The Geisha, now, this is not to say this Geisha is, but Geisha is some of the most expensive coffee. Like one of my friends in Japan, he bought the most expensive Geisha or most expensive coffee ever sold in the world. $2,800 for 1 pound. He spent like some crazy like $60,000, $80,000 on like his coffee. Geisha from Panama. All right, so what we've got here, we've got fancy coffee here. We're going to use the fancy mug. This is the Ember temperature controlled mug. This is $100 mug. $100 for a mug. Can you believe it? Look, it's got this like Cylon light. That's how's it go? Ooh. Come on. Look at this. Ooh. Oh, whatever. See, that is a sexy mug. Okay, so it's what this does. You can use the app. I'm gonna show you because we have time. Look at this thing. This thing is still blazing. Let's see. I'm babbling away, and this thing is. I'm gonna shove this in there, and we can leave this running here to show you. Look at that, 100, still at 188. So you can get this, and you can get this app for the Ember. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not sponsored. Brian just let me have this to play with. I've actually been running tests on it. And maximum temperature is 145. So right now it says it's 80. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this 188 degree coffee. I'm going to pour it into this sucker. And watch, look at that. Ooh, 170, 100. Look at that. That's not bad. That's pretty close. So let's see here. Let's put the two. Let's shove that in there. 181. It says 183. I do believe the fluke meter more. But look, they're pretty close. They're right on the money now. 182. So the Ember mug is this mug. Okay, now it's time to go back. All right, let's move back, and then we'll continue. I gotta unlock this. Oh, unlock this wheel. Oh, for gosh sakes. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're going to send that back to the back. Bring the phone. Turn the light off. We need the mouse. We got the mug. All right, all right. Yeah, some fancy stuff there. By the way, Rob, I'm trying this. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is the Rode Video Micro Go 2. I just found it at a local. I saw it on one of the videos earlier this week, and then I just happened to be at the camera store in Baltimore here that I go to, and they had them, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that because I kind of thought it was pretty cool. So I'm trying I'm trying it out just to see. What do you think about? What do you think, Rob? How does it sound? How does it sound to you? I know other guys have said that it sounds more. It's not as full sounding as the RE20 that I normally use. All right, so here we are, 174 degrees. Ember mug. Oh my gosh. That's some hot coffee. The gauge on the stuff, was there a reason or just a fun? Well, the reason typically, so here's my reasoning. So when people came to Spro at our main shop, we had a variety of different coffee brewing devices available. And we would typically brew our most expensive coffees in the siphon because I believe it gives the cleanest representation of the coffee. It's a very, very clean way of brewing coffee. And so whenever we wanted to, give people something more special to try and really get into the coffee, I think this gives the best representation of it, a very clean representation, plus visually very exciting for people to watch. So when they're paying $15 and up for their cup, you want to give them something nice. Why, yes. Why, thank you. By the way, Rob, you missed Alan Williams's live stream on Sound Speeds last night. It was pretty epic for what he was doing. It had him with Tom Buck, and then Bandrew Scott, and then Curtis. Curtis was there. Gosh, Curtis was on for like over 2 hours. He got him to stay to like 1 o'clock East Coast time. Oh, sounds pretty good. Good. Nice to be able to buy just one banger. Absolutely. I'm going to try to replace because I use the for my camera. Like I live stream both. I both live stream and use the Sony ZV-1 for camera use, and then I've been using for the last like maybe a year or so, maybe just a year. maybe less. I've been using, well, maybe whatever. I've been using this, the Movo VXR10. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's got some functionality that seems pretty good. Now I'm just trying to find, because I'm trying to find a way, because there's this guy named Hoon who has his channel called Hoon's Coffee here on YouTube. He also has an Instagram channel. He's asked me to come on his show a few times on his live stream on Instagram, but my phone is, it's kind of got all this dirt and crud in it, so it's really difficult for me to hear from the speaker, and it's difficult, and sometimes I think it might be difficult for them to hear me. So I've been trying to find. I wanted to find the interface, either this or maybe the Rhodes has that thing coming out, the AI Micro, that I plan, and I actually put a pre-order in. So how's the coffee? The coffee is hot, but also kind of, I wonder if it's kind of grassy. The ZV1, the ZB1, what's ZB1? Now we're 162 degrees now, 162. It only goes up to a max of 145. So it's, I would love to actually hold it at 162. Like, it's pretty hot. It's actually burning my tongue. It's probably not a good idea. But anyway, let us, we'll continue on this Rode mic for a while. All right, so we've got the coffee. This is the Panama Gesha from a company called Mid-Sajj and Momo Roasters in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Oh, it was good. It was a great show. It was a great time last night. Great time. All right, so let me see. Okay, cigar. It's cigar time, right? Cigar time. Today's cigar is that we got, of course, it comes from our favorite supplier, Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, Maryland. And all the cigars that I smoke on the show are paid for by my pocket. Well, for most of them. And today, this is not the cigar we're smoking today. All right, we'll be right back. Man, I thought I had everything set. I've actually been setting up stuff in here since like in the early afternoon. All right, so into the humidor of joy here. Where are you? There you are. It's a thick one. Oh, that's right. Hold on one second. Let me get this thing together. All right. So this is it, the Oscar Valladares McFly. McFly! You're fired! I'm fired! Now, here's the thing. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what this is connection to McFly and Back to the Future is. Well, no, it won't come. I was actually about to pull it off, and then I realized, that's kind of cool. Okay, so here, look at that. Look at this wrapper. There's the band, and then this, instead of a cedar, they've got this, but it's got this, this 80s geometry. Like you're going through, like, do you guys remember, like those of you who are from Baltimore, we had this radio station called B104. And whenever you went to like the York Ridge cinemas, first the York Ridge Twins and then the York Ridge 4, when they split the two because they made them into really tiny theaters, they would have that B104 advertisement before the movie started that had this kind of like graphic that kind of like Tempest and Star Wars video game kind of graphic, the line wires, and they had this like roller coaster. It was pretty kind of awesome, I thought. Anyway, so Oscar Valladares McFly. I don't know if it's racist or not, or maybe because I'm saying McFly. What was the name? Okay, here's the question. What was the name of his boss that fired him? Who remembers that? All right, we're just going to pull that off. I'm not going to put it up. All right, so it's pretty thick. Like, why this thickness for McFly? Like, Marty was pretty skinny. His dad was pretty skinny. Like, this is a thick sucker. Like, this would be a Biff. Like, I would think this is Biff, right? Not McFry. Anyway, shaggy foot. Oh, come on now. Shaggy foot, shaggy foot, shaggy foot. Shaggy foot, shaggy. Yeah, there it is. Shaggy foot. All thick, right? Oh, thank you there, Alan. Actually, Rob and I were just talking about you saying how you have the had the big mini epic live stream last night. Fritz, yes, that's his McFry. Wait, is that really the Asian guy's name was Fritz? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's craziness. All right, my brother, have a great one out there. Enjoy. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so now it's time for the cutting. We're going to do the cutting here. And so those of you who might have noticed and the message from Alan, he's the guy I was telling you about last night that I was watching his live stream. So I told him that we're using similar setups. So I asked him if he wanted to have a look. So Alan, this is kind of the look that I do. I'm using the ZV-1 in a manual setting. I do have the product showcase functionality set to on, but it sometimes it just doesn't. Like, look at that. Oh, crap. I'll spend the last month to 3 months and I'm battling with it. And the moment you walk in, I'm like, oh, it doesn't really work. Click. See? Not bad. Not bad. All right. Anyway. So right now I'm running 320 ISO and I've got it zoomed in just a little bit. So I'm running at 2.8, 1/50th of shutter. Actually, people always talk about setting it to 60 frames or 30 frames for live streaming. I never do it because I always forget to switch it. So right now it's running at 24 and I'm sending it from a HDMI cable out into that cheapy $20 a USB converter that runs into my M1 Mac Mini that sends it to StreamYard. So this is kind of how I set it up. And then the audio that I'm running is through the Rodecaster Pro that's also running by USB cable into the machine. Oh no, actually right now I'm not using that. I normally using that because I have the RE20 that I normally use, but that I'm actually bypassing today because today I was at my local shop and I picked up this Rode Video Mic Go 2. So this is running in through USB into the Mac. And then it also has monitoring on the 3.5 millimeter jack. So you can send signal either out of the 3.5 to a camera if you're using on camera, or you can, if you're using USB as your feed, you can use it as the monitoring source. And so, that's the setup I'm running. So you have any questions, let me know. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to be cutting now. We're going to use, this is our cutting time. The Xikar MTX tool is our normal cutting. We're going to cut. All right. And then also, while we make the cut, we're going to check also, how is our coffee doing? 145 degrees. So it's dropped. In the last few minutes, it has dropped dramatically, 40 degrees. But now with the mug, this mug should be holding, like you can see, it's lit. And so it's supposed to be able to hold it at this temperature. Oh God, that's big. Okay, that's a big cigar. That's a big cigar. All right, a little bit of short filler. I don't know what's up with that. All right, I'm going to light it with some tobacco leaf matches. Nice and black. Oh, that's a lot of cigar. Still not lit. Still not lit. So what's everyone doing tonight? What are you guys smoking, drinking? You know, the usual routine that we talk about here. Oh my gosh, it's just falling apart. This is a lot of cigar for a man. Right, I still don't get the idea of McFly and this cigar. Like, there was no cigar smoking in, as far as I can recall, there was no cigar smoking in the Back to the Future series. Oh, Brian's smoking the Romacraft and gin. Nice, nice. Oh, you know what? We haven't. Oh gosh, you know what? I've had this. I've been like so preoccupied. We've got other stuff to talk about. So there is. I don't know. This is huge, but let's see what they say online with what that's supposed to be here. Length and ring gauge. Come on now. All this clicking. There we go. Okay, so whoa, 6x60. This is definitely 6x60 because it's just so big. And also, it's time to do our review with our cigar grading guide, right? This is the grading guide we've been working on last week. I'm going to start it, and I totally like kind of botched the start. But we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Ooh, you know, it's pretty strong. Like, there's a lot of like force to this tobacco. Like, even the stuff that's the smoke that's kind of wafting through my nose, it's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Tony says PDR Criolito Robusta and the Diet Dr. Pepper, I presume, right? No flavor in the Dr. Pepper. And then today was a big day over here. Picked up some good photo equipment to shoot some new portfolio of work. Managing. Oh no! Hey, by the way, that reminded me. Like, Yasmina, there is a live stream that I follow every once in a while. I followed it. Finally watched it again. They happen on 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. So yesterday at 6 p.m. A bunch of guys from around the internet. It's called the C47. Oops. Because I put it in the comments, the C47, and it is it's mainly a bunch of guys talking about like cameras and stuff like that, and for like digital and video, and but their the new challenge for coming up that they're planning is to take still cameras, shoot film, and do something. So you might want to check that out. The first thing is going to be like 2 rolls of film. So if you've got a camera like I got my old Canon F1. Man, I shot with this like in the late 80s, early 90s. This is a beast. Back then I had a motor drive, but I still have it and plan on using that. But I haven't really shot much film over the last year. But when we were talking about that, when they were talking about the challenge, I was thinking about you and needed to message you about it. I make myself say drink right now. Drink. You should. You have some gin somewhere. Drink it up. Of course, Tony's drinking Mountain Dew Major. I thought you were drinking Dr. Then Alan says, has anyone told you that the coffee bean icon's small? Oh, does it really? I just switched that yesterday, actually. Let me look that up. I'm going to look that up. Oof. that look? Oh, where's the page? How do I go to my page? There we go. Go to your channel. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna leave it. See, it's all about context, maybe. All right, so Rusty says you should pour yourself a drink. What? You sprained your AC joint? Did this happen at school? Like, are the kids beating you up? Yes, definitely look it up. It's good. Oh, right. You know, I think that's a good question. That could be like the only guy that I really follow I think there's 3 of them on the C47. Actually, let's go see. Like here, this guy. So they do this camera flask. Let's see, C47. This guy. Like, I don't really follow him as much. There's 3 of them. So the one that I follow is that guy DSLR video shooter, that guy Caleb, and that's kind of how I learned about it. So, but C47, that makes sense. It would be the clothespins. Yes, it is. Oh, good point. Actually, the discussion that you had with Bandrew last night regarding YouTube and the whole thing about pulling down channels and like maintaining control over emails, and that was really something I was like, oh man, I really need to get on top of that, because that it was just like this past week that I stumbled onto Bandrew's videos from last year where he was talking about how his channel was taken down. And it's like, oh man, that would be like brutal. Actually, what I kind of worry about, and I've been thinking about it for a while, like there's this guy, Jeremy Sayers. He does like, I think he does equipment reviews, but he also does some like cigar content. And I found a video of his maybe a year ago, or it was probably older than that, where he was talking about how he was separating his cigar content from his main page because he was worried that YouTube could use that to take it down. So really what I need to do, and that's really kind of what I was going to mention to everybody else today, that I'm thinking about starting another channel just for these live streams. So it won't be on the Ono Coffee channel. Maybe it'll be on the Ono Smokes channel or something like that. Smokes and coffee, you know. It is producing a lot. Like it's a 6x60. I mean, it's a big cigar. It's so what I haven't really been talking much about it, but when it started off, it had that really nice heavy. Well, it was pretty heavy and kind of smoky or spicy, and it's kind of toned down slightly. I mean, we're only just starting into it. It's a little bit burning uneven, you know, which could be because of the way that it was lit. It was lit a little bit unevenly, but it's it was slowing down. And this was the only size of McFly they had at Tobacco Leaf when I was there. Because I almost certainly would have bought the Toro rather than the 6x60. Like, I think with the 6x60, because they're making it such a thick ring gauge, they're probably adding more filler that's, you know, more benign in nature, so it doesn't really have that kind of concentration of flavor as they would have in their normal one. But I have to, I don't know. We'll see. So Alan says, I just changed ownership of SoundSpeed to another account because I had a troll. I was worried about copper striking my oh gosh, really? Yeah, you know what? I had that problem with Facebook. On my personal Facebook account back in October, someone hacked my account, did whatever. Like, I have no idea what they did. They actually were able to hack my Facebook account and my WhatsApp account. Facebook pulled all of them down. Plus, because my Instagram channel was connected to the Facebook channel. They pulled it all three, and they were completely unhelpful. Even though I tried to dispute everything and show them that I was actually out for that period of time, and so I lost all of that. So it ended up restarting my Facebook page. I can't restart the WhatsApp because they banned the actual phone number, so I can't do that again. But the nice thing about that is that when Facebook banned me, like I was gone for like 3 weeks or maybe a month. And like that was long enough for it to break my cycle. And then so when I started the new account, I only have it on the machine, on this machine here, on one browser, on Safari. It's not on any other device. And so I only check it here, and I maybe check it once a week. And when I was away in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East for a couple weeks, I didn't check it at all. So it's actually for my personal world, it was actually really great that they did that because it broke it. But I don't want to take the chance with the YouTube one. Ban first, contemplate the error in their ways, during appeal later. Oh yeah, that is a problem. Oh yeah, Yasmina knows that one. Everyone in our group had to migrate to Telegram. One of the positive things about being the leader of the group, everybody has to follow where you go. All right, joining you guys with G&T Excellent Turkish Delight with pistachio. You know what the Turkish Delight? Speaking of Turkish Delight, there is a particular brand of Turkish Delight that I found when I was in Istanbul back in 2017. And man, I cannot remember the brand. Like I can picture it enough that if I saw the logo, I would totally, that's the way that they did there. And I think it was this older logo with this old dude on it. But the way they do their Turkish Delights, man, that was the one that I really, like all these other ones that are really small and like square. Like I don't really like those. The ones that they had in Istanbul were like killer. Yeah, so here's the thing. So, like I said, it's on autofocus, which I'm starting to. Maybe we should investigate that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Focus mode, continuous AF. Let's see what else. DMF, continuous automatic AF. Let me try. I'll try automatic. Oh, not available. Also, that automatic doesn't work. So it has to be continuous or oh man, there's a manual setting. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to do manual, which means that I think it'll like touch here. Except that's not better. Does that mean I can rotate something? No. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't think that was any better. All right, let's go back to continuous autofocus. Then let's go to change the. Okay, I'm going to change focus area to center. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so now it's continuous autofocus and set to center on the. So what it does, it puts this big like this white square on the screen or on the screen, and I guess that's only where it's going to hold, which is good. Okay, there we go. That's probably going to be better for us. Okay, good. Oh, we already did that. All right, so let's go back to this grading form, right? So like we talked about last week, instead of me constantly talking about what we need to do, so I've come up with this grading form. I don't know if you guys have even tried it yet. But if you have, I'd like to know what you guys think about it. If it's worked out, if it made it. If it made sense to what you're doing. So let's see, a wrapper. Let's see, it's about there. Is the mug still at 145? Let's see. Still holding 145. Which is actually, was normally, by the time as the show progresses, I always end up with like cold brew. But not today. I tried to so that's something I should mention. Like this ember thing. So I've been when Brian first told me he was talking about this for Christmas. This is actually a gift given to Brian, not to me. We were just talking about it, and he said to me, "Hey, it's a coffee mug. Maybe you want to do an unboxing." So I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll do the unboxing." So we did the unboxing. We did the unboxing here, right? And so I've been playing around with it, and I thought as we were talking about what to do for kind of a product review video, I was like, you know what? If this will, you could set the temperature, from like 98 or something. Let's see, what's the range? So there's 145. Whoops. And it'll go down to 120 degrees. So you can set it somewhere between 120 to 145. And it's supposed to last 80 minutes. So what I did is, what I thought about doing is, if this will hold 135 degrees Fahrenheit, I can sous vide steak in it, right? So so what I did is I got some clarified butter, melted it, heated it up, poured it in, and then added the steak directly into the mug in the bath. And so the idea was to sous vide the steak in the butter in the mug. The problem was that it just wouldn't work. Like, it kept shutting off. It kept registering as empty, even though it was completely full. And it kept doing it. And I was like, what is going on here? So I spent like the first 40 minutes messing around with it, trying to figure out, why is this thing not working? And so what happened was that the way that this is designed, the sensors in here, if you add too much milk, fat, it could, I guess, occlude the ability for the mug to sense the temperature and that there's product inside the mug. Because I'd actually played around with it with hot water over the last week, just doing tests and seeing how stable it was. And it's very stable. It worked really well. And I thought, is there something wrong with it? And then I read on their website a little bit. They were saying, if you have problems reading it, maybe because there's too much fat. And I was thinking that too much fat. So it made me wonder, like, if it doesn't work with fat, if you put a latte in here, will it stop working? That would be kind of terrible. And then Brian says, this is a 120-minute show, so you'll have the cold coffee at the end. You're right. We do need that. We'll have to send a message to Ember, tell them, hey, get their act together. But anyway, so what happened was that it wasn't working. It would shut off thinking that it's empty because the butter, the melted butter, was preventing it from realizing that there's liquid inside. And I put the butter in, and the butter, when I put it in, it was like 145 degrees. So it was plenty of heat for it to notice, but but whatever the sensor, it didn't read it. So what I had to do is I had to take it all out, and then I took the steak, vacuum bagged it with a Ziploc bag, cleaned it out, filled it with hot water, and then turned it on. It worked like a champ. Actually, it did great. Actually, that's what I made for my dinner today. Actually, it looked like this. Sous vide steak in the ember mug, pan finished with some chive blossoms. Oh, Not bad. Not bad. All right, so we're going along. And it's smoking. Oops. It's smoking pretty well. It's smoking pretty well, especially for a 6x60. It's not terribly dynamic. It's not terribly exciting. I think it's because the ring gauge is so large. I think, like, you know, it's a tough. Like last week, we had the 21st anniversary from the LCA. That was killer. It was killer. So it's going to be a tough follow up for this. But it's getting to the point where I'm thinking that maybe I should tap it out. Because look, it's kind of sagging right here. And I hate to take that chance and spill it all over. Like right now, the flavors are good. The body is good. The body's kind of medium bodied. It's good. You know, it's not like dazzling. Good. All right, let's go back to the Panama Gesha. See how it's doing from Momo's. It's kind of freaky to have it this hot the whole time. Like, you know, you drink coffee and you're just used to it like gliding in temperature. Like this is like, it's not gliding. It's just holding. But here's the thing that I think is kind of disappointing about this mug, right? There's no lid. Like if it had a cap, right? Like all those other mugs you find out there, I think that would be pretty killer. And so here's the thing. So while it's rechargeable, there's a base for it that you sit it on. And so like if you're running out of power, you can put it on the base and like do it long term. So if I wanted to sous vide, like let's say if I took a piece of like tough like beef, I could bag it and sous vide it all day long on the cradle and it would continue to operate. So that's kind of cool. But you know, if it had the lid, that would just make it much more easy to like. Actually, if I had a lid, I would actually do a test where I could take it all over town with me and, you know, see how it works. But then, you know, I'm actually like, you know, the way that I drive, it's going to spill all over the place. And like for you, Alan, like this could have been, if it had a lid, it'd probably be kind of cool to have on the, on set. Like actually there's, I think they make versions that are more slender, like more traditional. So I think that would fit on those Gorilla clamped cup holders that you put on the C-stands or on the carts. I don't know if you drink much coffee or the kind of hot drink, but you could put hot chocolates. Oh, they do make a travel mug for 150. Yeah. We should look that up. Let's see what they say. So here it is, $99.95, 3 colors, white, black, and the gray. With the gray is quite nice. Product protection with $14. Oh, it doesn't have this. So other mugs. That's this one, Amber Mug Metallic Collection. Ooh, Metallica. Oh, this comes in 2 sizes, 10 and 14 ounce. Like 14 ounce is a weird size. Like I think 12 is just right. 10 is too small. Oh, the travel mug. Here we go. Ooh, 180. Ooh, look at that. I wonder what the plus and minus is for. Look at that. Here we go. Keeps it there for 3 hours. Wow. All right, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. What are they called? Let's see. Cup holder. I think they're called cup holders. Oops. Went down to the studio. Yeah, they look like this. So Robo Cup. There we go. Robo Cup. They come in they have all kinds of colors. They don't have so many here on Film Tools, but like this is kind of what they, and the springs are like super, like these springs are like super like tight. Like I'm like oh, like, so they really, once they clamp on, I mean, they clamp on really, really hard. I think I got mine not from Film Tools. I got it from like Amazon, I believe. I got it. I got the orange one, so they would like really stand out, really pop on the stand. Oh, Brian says that the plus and minus is to raise the temperature. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, look at it. Oh, good, because you can actually see it on there. That's cool. Yeah, you got to get that. What I really want to get is this. There's this guy that does like custom-made front boxes that he's a mount that you could put on a C-stand, like these little small ones. But I've always kind of wanted to have my own front box. But I was never an AC or anything like that, so I never really had the reason to buy my own. Then she says also, you should try the Fellow Carter mug. Wow, really? All right, let's see that. Fellow Carter 27. Oh, it's just insulated, right? It's not a battery powered. Oh, nice. What's this? Oh gosh, these guys. I know a lot of people like these, like the kettles. Maybe I mentioned this before, but this Stag kettle. Oh no, not this one. I played with the EKG. Yeah, I played with this one once. Man, I was never more pissed off with a with a brew kettle ever in my life. I was like, what the hell is this? Because we were using it to do a cupping. And so, when you're pouring into, so for those of you not following, we do these cuppings, right? I think I showed it one time on the show where we fill the cup with coffee and let it steep and then use it to taste critically. Well, I like to pour it hard, like really fill it fast as I can possibly fill it. Well, this thing has a restrictor in the spout, which totally slows down the flow and like prevents you from pouring hard. And man, it was like taking forever to fill up a mug. I was so like irritated. I was like, Arr. I was like, $160 for this crap. I was all mad and like. So no battery, but double walled and ceramic coated. On the inside, doesn't taste like an old penny after. Oh. Yes, we did. I remember you mentioning that maybe it was last week. I've been using this one that my niece gave me for Christmas last year. Who makes it? Corksicle Darth Vader. He gave me the Darth Vader one. So this is like my brother got the they have it. I didn't know they had that. That's cute. Got it to you, whatever. Oh, for God's sakes. Where's the other ones? Okay, great. Where's the Darth Vader one? Ugh. Anyway, this is the one that I have. And this one, I've actually never done the testing for heated drinks and how long it holds it. And actually, I actually drink more cold drinks with it. So, but it from my estimation, it works pretty well. I don't know how it would really compare to the one from Fellow. I think I'm presuming the Fellow one probably works better as far as the heat retention. So, all right. So here we are. We're definitely through. I would say we're definitely through the first third, and it's been okay. It's been decent. So I'm gonna say good. So I'm gonna say good plus. So probably 6.5. Unfortunately, there's a bit of can see here, 6565 for the first third. The fragrance cold draw, I'll probably give that a 7, even though I wasn't able, I totally forgot to do that part. So we're a little bit compromised. I think this is too big. Thick ring gauge wise, it's too big. Oh, look at that. It's focusing fast. Yeah, so Alan, if you're still on here, I do think the ZV-1's a great camera. I've used it for pretty much most of the videos on the channel, on this channel. On the Spro Coffee channel, I started off from like the inception of that channel until July of 2020. So I started that channel in January 2020 until July 2020 when I finally got the ZV-1. That's when I kind of made the switch over. But I think the ZV-1's been great little camera. Plus it has built-in ND, which is really, really awesome. Actually, that was the point where, because when they announced the ZV-E10, kind of the next generation, which is the A6600, the APS-C sensor size for this line of cameras, as well as interchangeable E-mount lenses. I was planning on buying that. Like, I was really, when they announced it, I was like, oh man, we'll be all over that. And then as people started to do reviews on it, and they were like, well, it doesn't have the built-in ND, and it does have the pan wobble. I was like, oh, that was disappointing. I was like, oh man, I could have lived with the pan wobble, but because I don't really shoot like that. So to me, that's not much of an issue. But the whole thing without the lack of ND filter, like, what I really like about this camera is that it's so compact and so small that it's really easy to take with you. And like, all the camera support is really lightweight. Like this, I actually use this. This is what I have the mic mounted to, is the PGY Tech kind of little tiny tripod, selfie stick, whatever it's called. And you don't have to have a lot of, like, when you get to the bigger cameras, I think you have to like have more robust camera support. And this one really, like, you can use almost anything. Like, I was using a selfie stick for a while. All right, let's try this. Going back to our normal input source. Strangers in the night. How do we do this? There we go, cam mic. All right. So we have switched now to back to our normal setup. I don't know if you can hold on. I'll be with you in just a moment. Hello. All right, there we go. How's that? Better? Better to go back to this, to our trusty RE20 microphone running through the Rodecaster Pro. All right. Sounds better to my ears. Like, the nice thing about this microphone compared to the other one we're just listening to for the last like half an hour or so is it just has much more rejection, so it's a lot nicer sounding, right? Like, you really don't hear the noise anymore. All right, let's see. Now, gosh, I feel kind of isolated. I feel more isolated suddenly. Wow, that is still pretty hot. I mean, we're still holding at where are you? Still holding at 145. Not bad. Yeah. There's a lot more ambient noise coming through on the other microphone than this one. But to be fair, you really can't. It's not a fair comparison. I mean, this particular mic is really made for this specific type of purpose, where the other one's made really more for on camera. So it's got a lot. It's a little bit. It's a different mission for it. So, but it seems pretty good. And the thing that I was really surprised about it that I hadn't really been very familiar with was that the Rode version of the Rycote mount actually is quite. There's actually a lot of flex with it, right? Whereas the one that comes on the Movo, which is a more affordable price point, it actually doesn't have the same design. You can actually see the two, right? So this one really kind of floats more than this. Like this is kind of hard. Actually, in one of the videos that I was shooting, the one that I was shooting for the Beatles Leatherworks, there's a video about Armenian coffee on the channel that I shot using this and using this camera and this mic, and you can actually hear more of the camera handling noise. And I think it's because this harder mount was feeding it directly, into the body of the microphone. Now using the Chrome, yes, much better. All right, where are we now? And then let's try this other headset. So what I mentioned these earlier, like what I really like about these is that the headsets are very affordable. Like these are made for on-set use. But it's definitely more hollow. And like now I can hear more noise. Like the gain, it's a lot more sensitive. Like I have to turn back the volume when I wear these compared to the 600s. All right, so we're moving into the second third. Well, into the second. We're getting really into the second third. We're not getting much change. It's still about the same. But let's go back and see what people have to say about it. So here we are. This is from Blind Man's Puff. So it came out the PCA trade show this year in Vegas. It's a sequel sorts of Superfly. We did the Superfly last year in the 2021, and it was I don't recall. I mean, it was, it is what it was. If it was really awesome, it would have stood out, and it just kind of blended into the background. So Superfly was set in 1970 themed cigar. This one, McFly. Again, Marty McFly. I don't really get the connection to Marty McFly. Like, why would you? Why? I don't understand. I don't really understand those connections. So using a Mexican wrapper, Honduran binder, and filler tobacco from Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. So it comes in Toro, Churchill, 60, 1250. Oh, and a 1250. So that's probably 1350 with the Maryland OTP. Made in Dunley, Honduras. Oh, this is for their Toro, or the Churchill. Yeah, let's see what they say anyway. 89. Here's something that we talked about, like 89, 88, 88. Like I had scored the first segment of this, the first third of this cigar with 6.5s and 7s, right? If this continues, the performance of this cigar continues, we're definitely not going to see like 89, 80, the high 80s. We definitely will not see that. All right. Let's try a different pair. I'm going to go away from the. I'm going to go away from the golden Princess Leia. And I'm going to go to these, the red Princess Leias. All right, now, so the gain, I got to boost that up again. There we go. Now I can hear that. Now, these are the MDR V6s. Actually, I got this pair of headphones back in the late 80s, like maybe 87, 88. I've had them ever since. I used them on set in the 90s. And these are some of my favorites, actually. The other ones, the 600s, are a little bit more padding, a little bit more comfortable in that respect. But these are nice too. They're called softies. Headphone softies. Like I've had these for like years, like maybe decades now. The red ones, but when like these 600s, like I actually had to buy the softies. I always wanted to buy the softies for these. And if you guys are interested, the softies are like $17, right, Alan? Is that right? $17. They're really comfortable. But these had reached the point where all of the padding was like deteriorating, even the top head part. So I had to find this neoprene thing off of Amazon. And I really dig them. I mean, they're super. I find them to be super comfortable. I mean, I imagine you use these too, Alan, right? I mean, like, for you guys that don't know, so Soundspeed Alan, he's actually a boom operator down in Atlanta. So he works on set, 14, 15, 16, 24 hours a day. And we were like you guys were good Lord. And these are nice. Yeah, these are nice. I don't wear these I don't use these as much here. I really use the 600s here. No, the Sennheisers. Well, I don't know which Sennheisers you have, but if you have these type of things, these softies are universal. So they actually have in 3 sizes, so you can just kind of figure out the one that you need. Like if you called the guys at True Audio or at Gotham Sound, actually probably where you are, maybe it's closer to call them Gotham Sound, and be like, hey, I need some headphone softies. These are the headphones that I have, and they could probably tell you which size you really need. I don't know anymore. I never buy them. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. I wish I get them every few months. Maybe one day when I become a big YouTuber. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so it's smoking along, and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not terribly remarkable. Like, it's just a cigar. It's got a fancy name. With this silvery, glittery kind of banding and this 80s graphics. But nothing too dramatic. Like this. 89, 88, 88. So let's see. Upon light up, I'm greeted with a medium profile of leather, cedar, black pepper. I would say that's all very, very much similar to this. Hint of graphic. I don't know. Haven't eaten a pencil in a long time. Passing the shaggy foot, the profile tames down to pleasant medium profile. Creamy leather, black pepper. I guess you could see that. HD 280 Pro. The issue is that they're more like a vice grip. Really, vice grip? You got a small head too. Like, I don't mean that as a, HD 280. They seem like decent. I guess they're decent. Alan, you would probably know better. You would definitely know more than I would about these. Yeah, you might want to get different size headphones. Since you're so close to the city, Like it might be worth a visit to like Gotham Sound itself and like ask them what they might recommend, or even if you went to Adorama or B&H for all that matter, I'm sure they have a wide range of stuff. You can probably even just try them on and see what fits your head best, or even what feels comfortable and what sounds nice to you. Hold on. All right, let's see. Second, third, 89, medium strong. Yeah, medium strong is good. Complete body medium. Good amount of burn going into the wrapper. Barbecue meat. I don't know if I get that. Single habanero note really heats up halfway point. Much like that of habanero death dust. Whoa. I hope that's not what I'm going to have. Good Lord. I'm kind of in this mood today where it's just kind of like, it's good. Like I'm not really sitting here thinking like, what does it taste like? Tastes like leather, tastes like pepper. Yeah, you can see, I can see what they're saying. Leather, pepper for sure. But for some reason, I'm saying a little cedar, and here's what I'm saying. Little cedar and a little spicy. Sweet with cedar and a little spicy. First inch didn't have a wrapper on, which is kind of weird. Oh gosh, man. There we go. That's what's called a shaggy foot. Yeah, of course. Okay. Oh, this is super fine. We can't watch that. Debuts made in the McFly at 2021, PCA. Okay, we already covered that. Okay, good. Okay, let's see what they say on their website. Our cigars. Oh. All their lines but the McFly on their own website. They run their website like I run mine. All right, let's get that out of the way. Goodness, there is a lot of smoke production. All right, let's see the coffee. I have to say, Panama Gesha. So like I said earlier in the show, the Panama Gesha is this really wildly celebrated coffee in the coffee business, right? People have always paid exorbitant amounts of money for the coffee. Like, for example, my mentor in 2005 was part of the buying group that bought the very first auction lot from Price Peterson. And they paid at the time in 2005 the highest price ever paid for coffee. Like, it was so astronomical. And that coffee cost $21.75 per pound. And everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And that coffee I did get a bag of it, mainly because my mentor was one of the buyers. So I was looking at that regard. So I've had the opportunity to try it, and that one had very like tea, very light floral characters to it. And so many people have freaked out over the last 20 years or 15 years, 17 years about this coffee because it has this light floral tea-like character to it. And one of my friends who lives in Bangkok, we were talking, he's really into as a consumer, he's really into specialty coffee. And he was like, I said to him, hey man, have you tried the Geisha? He's like, yeah, I tried it. Do you like it? He's like, no. I was like, why? He's like, if I want tea, I'll buy tea. I don't want to buy coffee that tastes like tea. And I was kind of laughed about that because, and so this one, it's nice. Like, I don't know where this coffee came from. Like, it doesn't really, the interesting thing, a lot of these, from what I've seen so far, a lot of the Middle Eastern roasters, the ones mainly Saudi and Dubai that I've tried, they talk about the coffee, like they'll say Panama Gesha, but it seems unusual that they will tell you the farm. Like here in the West, where we talk about, we like to talk about origin, not just like Panama Gesha, but then we want to talk about this is the farm they got it from. This is the farmer. Like I can't say they don't know, but like the one of them does that I know. But a lot of them seem to just kind of like give Panama Gesha. I would like to know who, but of course I'm a different kind of user. So what I'm saying is that this particular geisha is not terribly distinct, especially as a natural processed coffee. Like it doesn't really give much natural characteristic. It just kind of seems a little bit soft. It's dry on the finish. Like the first sip, after it was first brewed, it was kind of grassy. That grassiness has kind of gone away now. It's kind of like the cigar. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of in this middle ground of like, okay, we're nice, we're good. We're not terribly giving you a lot. I wonder if it could be the roasting. Maybe the roast was a little bit long. Like that could be where it happened. Like maybe there's the roasting, like maybe they extended the roast a little bit too long. How's the aroma of the smoke? Oh, let's see. Again, like when we first started out, it had this really strength to it that was kind of like sizzling the tongue. But now, yeah, it's there. Now that thought just made me think of a few things, completely unrelated. So above the camera, to the left, there's this little bottle that I have of this coffee liqueur, well, coffee syrup, from a place called the Coffee House in Sumida, Tokyo. Right? It's just sitting there. And for some reason, that comment made me think about this syrup and the ice cream I had it with last night. So I had a little bit of this Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream sitting in the freezer, and I was like, I gotta get rid of that. And so I was eating it, and then but the day before that, I had a gelateria dark chocolate ice cream from Lidl. And the truth be told, I made it into a milkshake. And the interesting thing about that dark chocolate, was it really dark and not very sweet. Like you drink a milkshake and it's like nice and sweet. You're like, oh yeah, great, milky and ice creamy and chocolate and like sweet. Well, it wasn't that. It was very dark and like forbidding. And it was very much like, I'm dark and I'm kind of like not very sweet. I was like, oh, interesting. Like when you wanted a sweet, like I was actually tempted to put sugar. I was like, I should probably put some sugar in this, but that would be ridiculous. So I just drank it the way that it was. So when I went to the vanilla yesterday, it was super sweet. Like it was like so sweet. I was like, oh my gosh, that's too much. So I don't know why that smoking comment made me think about all this. And I was pouring this on top of it. Like this is some kind of sip where they take the coffee and they boil it down with sugar. It's really kind of interesting. Like if you get really nice vanilla ice cream and you put this on top, it's really quite good. And then another great thing to try that's completely like strange is like super aged soy sauce, like really hardcore, super aged, like craft made Japanese soy sauce that they've aged for like 4 to 10 years. And they come in these super small bottles. I have one. Actually, it's in the studio downstairs, but basically it's these little tiny things. It's super concentrated. It's almost like a balsamic. If you can imagine like a balsamic soy sauce, that's kind of what it is. And you put that on top of your vanilla ice cream. Oh man, it is good. It's good. It's good. I did. It's terrible. Actually, the day that we hung out, I think when you messaged me, the reason that I said no to the CFA shake was because before we hung out, I was like, I'm in the mood for a shake. What a mistake that was. So I drove over to Baskin and Robbins and I was like, I want a chocolate shake, please. What size do you like? They have 3 sizes, right? I was like, I'll get the medium. And I had really just eaten dinner. Man, so when you actually called me, I had already drank it. And like when we were like having our cigar session, man, I was like, oh my God. I was actually kind of regretting it because I was like feeling like, oh man, that was too much. I should have got the small. That was way too much. I was actually like, oh. But I must say that, so when I was at Baskin Robbins, so when I was young, my favorite flavor was in winter from Baskin Robbins. And it was one called the Quarterback Crunch. I don't know if you guys have had it, but it's basically vanilla ice cream with like caramel swirl and chocolate covered Rice Krispies. Man, I just love that. Love it. Love it. And they actually had it at the Baskins. And I was like, should I get, so I was actually thinking, I'm going to get the shake, and then I'm going to get a scoop of the Quarterback Crunch. At the end of the day, I decided not to do that. Just get the shake, which was a good deal because the shake was already way. That was just ridiculous. That was just irresponsible. But I did think about using the Quarterback Crunch for the shake. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, Brian. No. It wasn't Brian that brought the COVID. It wasn't Brian. It was somebody else. But I'm clean now. I was all worried. But they gave me my negative. That's like my fourth. No. Fifth or sixth test in the last month and a half. I had one before I had to leave. I had to get one right before I left so I could get into Saudi Arabia. I had to get one before I could go to Dubai. So that's 2. 1 to return to the United States, 3. 4 when I returned. After I returned to the United States, I had another one, 4. A 5th. This is the 5th one. 5th one in a month. The one we had in Saudi Arabia was interesting because instead of using the nostril swab, they actually did a throat culture. So I was all like, so that guy came to our hotel, and so he came to the hotel, and I'm sitting there. He's like, okay, you ready for your testing? Yeah. So I'm all like this. He's like, no, you open your mouth. I'm like, huh? He's kind of, all right, good. Oh, Brian, quarantine prior to and after Maria. Oh, it happens. It happens. That's love. That's love for you. So I would say, we're getting towards the end of the second third. I'd say the flavor is still very much the same. Body's still the same. It's just good. Again, still not very exciting. I wish I could tell you more. Like I want to tell you, like there's something happening. Like last week, something was happening that time. This time, not too much is happening. Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, we should get into getting through this way. I should get into the mailbag. Beyond just the microphone, what I got something from Two Guys Cigars. They tell me I have some points. I think I have like 215 points. And so they have this Stogie Points rewards. I don't really order. I mean, I went up there and I visited them a couple years ago. So I need to get more points. American Express sent me something. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Some kind of business package. We use Square, so we accept it all. American Express. Don't do business without it. Maybe they're sending me a platinum card. Dear business owner. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Oh, write your next chapter with Business Platinum. I think they even have little doors. The welcome offer. This is kind of like the Christmas calendar. Oh, earn 190,000 membership points after you spend $30,000 on eligible purchase on your card within the first 6 months. 190,000 points. Rewards with built-in flexibility. 5-time membership rewards points earned on up to $500,000 per calendar year on flights and prepaid hotels. I do not spend anywhere near $500,000 on flights. Actually, I spend so little that I can't really make status anymore. Business Platinum Concierge. Ooh, the Centurion Lounge. Skip Martin always talks about how the Centurion Lounge is so much better. I don't have a platinum card, so I don't know. And then there's this business class thing here. Let's see. Business class from American Express provides modern business education through insights, tips, and that's kind of interesting. All right, so that's their. Then they sent us some paperwork. Business Platinum card to welcome you 190,000 points. What could I buy for 190,000 points? So all I had to do is spend 30,000, which is actually not terribly difficult when you're running a business. Like on my old Chase card, the business card I use for United, we would normally do at least that much. Okay, we'll not be doing that because that's the last thing I need. I found this book the other day. I was wandering around White Marsh because I went down to IKEA last week to look at chairs, and I got there, and it's like I got there 10 o'clock be open. I got there 10 o'clock, 10:15. They don't open till noon. What in the world? What am I going to do for an hour and a half? So I found a place called Barnes & Noble's. It's a bookstore. You might have heard of it. Man, I haven't been to Barnes & Noble in years. So I'm wandering around like a doe. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Books, real books. And I found this book, 3001 Questions All About Me. And I thought that was kind of $8. And it asks questions about you. So you have 3,000 questions, all it is, and you fill it in. I haven't started. There's a lot of questions to ask. So let's see. Have I ever, question number 1,599. Have I ever doubled down in my life? What came of it? I have been like blackjack at Vegas. Has there ever been 1,600? Has there ever been someone I doubted but proved me wrong? 1,601. What kind of downtown life would I lead if I could? What in the world does that mean? Oh, here we go. Question number 1,602. The last time I saw someone, no. Who cares about that? 1605. Do I enjoy personal job? Okay, so interesting. I thought it'd be interesting. So maybe I'll start doing that. Also, we got I think this is the January pack, right? January or December? This is the pack from Privada Cigar Club. Let's see what they got this week. So if you, like we've talked in the past, the Privada Cigar Club, Rusty and I belong to well, yes, I did. But I didn't. I was responsible. All right, here we go. So this is their, December. This is their December pack. And this year, comes from Cigars in Dominican Republic. Comes from undisclosed. So it comes from maybe 3 or 4 places. So there's 4 cigars, right, for $26. One is disclosed of Dominican Habano 5x50. Another one is from the La Zona factory, Nicaraguan Habano. And then the other one comes from Raíces Cubanos, Honduran Maduro 5x52. And then the last one is an undisclosed Nicaraguan Habano 5x54. I just smoked one from the November pack the other day, and I thought that was really, really good. Actually, the one that I smoked with you, Brian, that one that we were hanging out, that one was really. Let's see. How they look. Oops. Oh, they lost the bands. Like, so November they had bands on these. Now we're back to unbanded, which I don't mind. Like they actually, there's some nice coloration on these wrappers, which is fine by me because I didn't really like honestly, I thought the bands are kind of ugly. I do appreciate how they put Boveda packs to keep them moist, especially now in the winter. All right, cool. We will. It's dying. It's dying. It means it needs to be charged. Oh, and it's getting, it's dead. It's dead because you know what? It's cold. It's getting cold. 107 degrees. Look at that. It has not lasted. But then, to be fair, I did not get to fully recharge it before we started the show. So I had actually had it sitting on the charger for probably a half an hour, 40 minutes at the most. What else we got? We had something from Amazon. Amazon Prime. No, I do not have Prime. Actually, I'm too cheap to buy Prime. Like, what is Prime? 150 bucks a year? I refuse to spend it because you know what? Here's the thing. Like, my buying on Amazon is not like most people. Like, I was looking at my buying, and I think one year I had 15 or 16, maybe 17 transactions with Amazon one year. That was like 3 years ago. Oh. Ah, yes. The Anchor 7-port hub with charging port. They have a 10 version that it has 7 of these USB 3s, but it has 3 USB charging ports. I've had that for like a year now, and I think they're great. Like Anchor, you know, I wasn't sure who they were. They're a Chinese-made company, and they're, you know, you find a lot of them on eBay, on Amazon. So but the other one that I have has been working like a champ. So I need more ports. Like the 7 ports are all filled. Plus, I need more ports. So I ordered this. So finally, that's here. That's excellent news. And then we have the Coravon Model 3. So I've been thinking about wine, and so I bought this from Williams-Sonoma because I've got a discount at Williams-Sonoma, right? I got the professional chef discount, which gives you 20% off of everything. The problem is when I went to go pay for it, they were like, you know, that doesn't apply to this. I was like, what? It doesn't apply. But I'd already committed myself to buying it. So I was like, all right, fine. So I got you. I'm opening this now. I bought this like months ago. It's ridiculous. It's been sitting around. All right, let's see what's inside here. Oh, a little booklet. Nice. Oh, it's got little like they do so nice with packaging, especially now that Apple has like there's something in here. Oh, stop. Before you pour, read this. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a little pull tab. Look at that. Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh, Coravon. That's quite nice. There's a little tab I have to cut somewhere. Oh, still tore the damn thing. Oh, there it is. Quick start guide. So what this is that it has I don't know if you guys have seen this, but basically it uses nitrogen tanks or cartridges. I'm guessing this is the nitrogen. Yeah, these like proprietary nitrogen cartridges where they put this thing on it and they charge you a lot more money for it. And that goes in here. And then it charges the system. Ooh, come on now. And so there's this little needle, right? This needle here, right? And so you put this into the cork. So you take a bottle like this, right? Oh, it clamps on. Oh, yeah, there it clamps on like that. There we go, clamps on. And then you shove this needle through the cork into the bottle. And then after I'm gonna skewer myself with this thing. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Once you get it attached, right, then you use this trigger, and what it does, it injects. I think this is like a 2-barrel needle, and it injects the nitrogen into the bottle, right? Injects the nitrogen into the bottle and displaces the wine and ejects the wine at this spout, right? And that allows you to maintain the freshness of the wine for a long period of time. I don't know how long, but it's supposed to be a long. So I saw this and I was like, oh man, I need to get that because I would like to drink more wine. The problem is that I'm just drinking by myself and I don't want to have to drink a bottle a day or like within 2 days because that's a little bit too much. Actually, during New Year's, I was sitting here for New Year's. I was like, oh, I bought a bottle of champagne and I was like, I'm going to drink it here. So I drank it. I probably drank half the bottle. And I was like, oh, that's just too much. So I picked this up the other day, this Saint-Esprit 2019 Côte d'Aron, which Côte d'Aron is one of my favorites. Côte d'Aron, Châteauneuf, these are really the regions that I really like in France. So I'm always willing to try. Like there's a brand called Beaucastel. They do a Côte de Lait, which is their Côte d'Aron, and they do their Chateau de Beaucastel, which is their Châteauneuf. Fantastic stuff. And this stuff is moderately priced. Now, but Tony and Maria, Tony's parents and Maria don't need the Corvan. They're finishing it within a reasonable amount of time. Me, that bottle, if I drink it, probably take me like 2 weeks. I do like Julia. Now we're getting a little bit. Can we resurrect it? I think so. I thought I was going to have to relight, but maybe I don't. Oh, you mean the Corvan? Yeah. I think they're cool. They seem cool. I've only watched videos about them, so I've never really used one yet. This will be my first time using it. But I'm expecting to be pretty good. Speaking of wine tours, do you think a wine aerator will have an effect on brew coffee? I have tried that. And it can. I think it does. Although, I have to say, all these things. Like I was looking at, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but one of the things that I know I said this on Hoon's I was on Hoon's Coffee's Instagram thing, and I was talking about this thing called the Cigarist, and I was gifted one by a friend of mine in Dubai, and Cigarist makes these fast brewing coffee filters, so they're less porous than the standard coffee filter, so the coffee flows faster through it. And I don't know. I was actually reading about them because I'm going to do a video about this Cigarist, these paper filters. And I was, doing some research on them, watching some people. I was watching Hoffman's video, James's video, and and I kind of wondered, like, these kind of things, like it's a faster flowing. But to me, it's kind of one of those things where, like, I think there just needs to be an understanding of brewing, right? Like coffee brewing. Like essentially coffee brewing is all about contact time, temperature and contact time, right? You have so much coffee and so much water, and that water has to be of a certain temperature in order to extract the flavors out of the coffee. So you either have to do it through the temperature or the exposure time. And Like, I don't know what the advantage really is of going faster with the same grind setting. Because to me, it's like, okay, we want to have like the basic parameter that I work under is after we with whatever ratio we're using, we want, or with the ratio that we're using, we want to have about 3.5 to 4 minutes of contact time. So if I was to get a faster filter, whatever filter I'm using, it doesn't really matter. Actually, what I'm doing is actually I'm taking that coffee, taking that water, and I'm actually watching how it performs through the filtration. And so, example, like at the shop, when I would be making coffee for people, as we're working throughout the day, I'm actually monitoring how long it's taking to brew the coffee. And I'm making minor adjustments to the grind or the technique based on how the last one went, right? Do I need to get it to go a little bit faster? Do I need to go a little bit slower? And that's kind of, I don't know if you necessarily need to make these kind of major adjustments to these like faster paper filters that cost you $1 per filter. Brian says, Maria used a wine bottle vacuum pump that removes air. Oh, yeah, you can get, I actually have those, the ones that have the pump, right? You put that, like, they put that rubber stopper in, and then it has that little valve, and you pump and suction out the air. I think those work pretty darn well. The idea with these things like the Coravon is that it doesn't, it's supposedly, it's one of those things where they're not allowing any kind of contact with oxygen at all. So the displacement is the nitrogen, which is, of course, inert. Or is it argon? Maybe it's argon. I was saying nitrogen, but it could be argon. Oh, yeah, it is. It is argon. Argon 65. So argon is much more inert with wine than nitrogen, I guess. And so because actually, even when you're using those vacuum pumps, the wine will deteriorate. Like I've used that, and the wine does deteriorate. Whereas these, they say in like the videos that I've seen them in, we're talking like 5-6 months, maybe a year of them just of using it that way. So it seems like it just seems interesting. I probably didn't have to buy it. Actually, it's interesting. I found this bottle of wine, white wine, in the fridge last week. It had been there for months. Months been sitting in the fridge. It was still very drinkable. Very drinkable. I was very surprised. I was like, oh, that's pretty. I think I was drinking it on one of the no, I was drinking on Hoon's live stream. Oh, Brian's a free man. Oh, I see that. Nice, dude. Awesome. Awesome. But you're passing a COVID test all day tomorrow. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good work, man. I think that's good work. The Expanse. Have you been watching that? I haven't seen this week's episode, but I have been enjoying this season quite a bit. I also finally got to see the New Year's episode of Doctor Who. That turned out to be pretty decent. But with The Expanse, this is the final season, 6th and last season. So I really wonder where they're going. Although, like, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but I'm presuming you've seen it. So, spoiler alert, the main protagonist is a guy named Marco Inaros, right? He's the leader of the OPA and his resistance, and he's trying to kill Earth and Mars and cause like all kinds of problems for the Belters, right? And so they had Marco dead to rights in the one episode recently. And Holden shot the nuke at the ship, the Pella. And then at the last moment, we noticed that Inaros' son, who is also the son of his girlfriend, what is her name? I can't remember her name, was on the ship. So he disarmed the missile, right before it crashed. And that's going to cause problems in the future. But, you know, the thing that I didn't really understand is when what's his name? Oh, no, what's his name? The guy from Baltimore. The tough guy. When he approached him about Holden about it and said, hey, man, I know you disarmed the missile. Why? Like Holden was like, you'll just do whatever the hell I tell you, right? He was all in his face and all like, you know, don't question me. And I was just thinking, you know what? I don't understand why Holden took that route with him. They've been together for all these years. They've been through so much together. Is it beyond the other guy's understanding that if Holden said to him, you know what, man, I just couldn't kill her son. I just didn't want to do that. Which is the reason why he didn't. And I totally get that. And I think that Amos, yeah, thank you, Tony. Amos, exactly. I think Amos totally would understand that because of all the people in the show, Amos has been the best friend of oh gosh, what is her name now? The entire time. And so I think if you said that, you know, I couldn't do it, he would understand. So why he took such a hard line approach with him, I just don't get. Like, they've been through so much. I just don't get it. So Brian says, I'm on my second cigar. I bought all the cigars that were produced by the group. Oh, by Privada. Nice. You bought 21 of theirs. They're all different or they're like multiples of the same? And which one did you smoke and which one are you smoking now? Yeah, I mean, so far that most of the Privadas have been pretty decent. And Tony says the Lady Killer from Southern Draw was one of my favorites. Oh, I've only had the Kudzu from Southern Draw. But what is the connection? Oh, we're falling out of focus. There we go. I got to stay in the center now. I can't just drift. But what's the connection between Southern Draw and Privada Cigar Club? Is there, oh, here we go. Here's something. The wrapper is breaking. Now I've kept it in the humidor of joy the entire time. And that thing, I must say, Rusty, that humidor, I gotta show you this. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I must say, this humidor has been rocking. Like this, it's a Rubbermaid, right? It's a Rubbermaid container with the rubber seal. And like these, Rusty, are the packs that you packed in with it in September. Look at this thing. It is completely hydrated. There is no crystallization of the matter inside. So this thing holds humidity like a mad dog. Like I have two. I have the other one here that I haven't taken out of the wrapper. But man, this performance as far as like holding humidity has been quite excellent. So thank you. So Brian says they produced 7, including the 21. Oh, you mean the LCA? Okay. Have you tried the 21 yet? That 21 still. I mean, that blows this away. The 21 blows this right out of the water. Like, this is not even a comparison. Okay, so second. So we're definitely in the third now. So I would say 6'5", medium bodied. So here we are again. Now we're still rolling. That's my scoring right now. Oh yeah, definitely try that one. Oh, We're still buzzing red on the ember. Let's see where we are at the moment. 93 degrees. The nice thing, this app actually changes colors. As you notice, it's now this kind of cool blue. It was kind of red, then yellow, orangey. Kind of neat. It even says here at the bottom, time to recharge your ember mug. I must say it does produce a lot of smoke. And here's the thing, the interesting thing, like sometimes when you get these cigars that produce a lot of smoke, like it's a little bit harsh. And like you get this cough. It hasn't really been harsh. The smoke has been relatively smooth. I would say the smoke itself is relatively, not too bad, not too harsh. What's the charge time on a mug? To be honest with you, I don't really know. I have it. I was actually charging it earlier today. I was trying to use it earlier, and it took a while. It took longer than I thought it would, and I don't know exactly how long that was. It was just like, but it was long enough that I was irritated with it. But maybe a couple hours to get full charge. Maybe. I think so. Oh, you know what I watched the other day? 2 days ago. I finally got to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Have you guys seen that? I think some of the reviews, people didn't really like it. Too much fan service. And I'm not a big, massive fan of like Ghostbusters. At least not to the level of fervor that a lot of people had in America back then. But I thought the movie is actually really quite enjoyable. Like actually like funny. Like there were moments that happened in that movie that I was just laughing about. I was like, man, that is just hilarious. I can't believe that. It was really entertaining, fun to watch. It was kind of, in some respects, it's kind of like, it kind of reminded me of Star Wars. What was the first one with Rey? Whatever it was called, I can't remember. Anyway, but that one, you know how the one with Rey and Poe and them, and that was like basically a retelling of the very first Star Wars movie. And it was one of those things where like you enjoyed it the first time you saw it, but then after you thought about it, you're like, it's kind of rings hollow. I think Ghostbusters was similar in the fact that it's kind of a retelling of the original story, like, Dozer's coming back and like the key master has to be there and all that. But I thought it was done in a way that was rather fresh and like enjoyable. And like, it wasn't like a complete ripoff of the original. I mean, it could have been because Ivan Reitman was also the director for this movie. What I had forgotten about the movie, I had forgotten that Harold Ramis was no longer alive. And, the story does revolve around his character, which I think was really quite interesting. So I think if you have the time, I think it's well worth the watch. Well worth the watch. The next movie I'd like to see is that movie called Passing. The one with Tessa Thompson. Actually, to be honest with you, I'll watch anything Tessa Thompson's in. If I go, Tessa Thompson, I'll watch that. And you should definitely see it. It's really quite good. It's really, really good. I always want to blow the smoke away. What I really need to do is redo the exhaust so that I have an exhaust above. And that's something I've been wanting to move the show to the actual studio space. So finally, on December 29th, I finally ordered the last thing that I needed to do that, to have this show there, the exhaust fan, right? Because I decided that instead of using the big one that just generates so much noise, I'm going to rig up another system that doesn't move the same volume, but I think that if I place it correctly, it should work very well. Which is what I think is really the problem with like the exhaust, is that you really need, after our visit to Ridgewood in September, I'm really, really convinced now that it's placement of the exhaust above the smoking area that really makes a big difference in the way the extraction happens. Like here, it has to go over a wall and to the other side of the room in order to be exhausted out. So it's got so much space to travel that it just makes it difficult. And so, plus the radiant heat creates a thermal layer. Like actually, I was here yesterday, and you could actually see where it would stop. It would just kind of, the smoke would hover at this point, like it would just not go above this point. So because the thermal heat layer was above it, so I was like, oh gosh. But so I eventually will move down there. No, I didn't get that one. I got, which one did I get? I got this one. I ordered this one. I haven't got it yet. That's the thing. It's like, it hasn't even left yet. Or at least the last time I checked, it hasn't left. I got this one. I ordered this one. The Vivo Sun 6-inch 440 CFM. Now it says unavailable. It says they're going to email me. Maybe I should just like, so this one is, as you can see, it's got a little bit of a jacket around the tube. This is the same type of blower that I use for the exhaust system above the coffee roaster. Like these other ones I thought about, well, I should probably get this one. Look, Vivo Sun 8, oh, but that's 8-inch. I got everything I have is for 6-inch. 395, 390. This one had 440. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the 440. So I don't know. Well, here's something for you. So a friend of mine in Hawaii just texted me. And let me show you this, if I can get it. There it is. He's always trolling me. As you can see here, Hillary Clinton 2024 election comeback. Oh, God. Things couldn't get worse in this country. Oh, my. I think the problem here is that I think this is a conspiracy. I do think this is a conspiracy. Let's look at this. Actually, let's look at the real deal. Let's go back to. Let me go back. Let's see this. Let's see this in real time. Oops. All right, let's go here. WSG. Oh, Hillary. This is Hillary. Hillary Clinton. Oh, Fox contributors throws cold water. Oh, I don't know what that means. See, here it is. New York Post. Oh, that's a good one. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. This really is, there's really something wrong in our country, I think, with these two. And this is the New York Post. The two most polarizing presidential nominees of modern times refuse to go away. I mean, I think that if this is true, good Lord, let's go back. Oh no, not too far. Here it is. Hillary's 2024 election comeback. Here's the thing. Oh, Di, good to see you, man. Good to see you. How you doing? I think that if Hillary Clinton returns, then Donald Trump has a great chance of being reelected. Because I just don't think people will vote for Hillary. I don't think she has it. Can't we get someone else? For God's sake, this is supposed to be the greatest country in the world. All right, enough of that. That's just not worth talking too much about. Look at this smoke. Look at this. This cigar produces a ton of smoke. At least it's not too harsh. You can see here, this is where the conductors are for the base plate. Okay, so let's see, what is the temperature now? 86 degrees. So it's not bad. Actually, I think I'm rather impressed. I think the other one, the other model, 3 hours, that's pretty cool. But $180 for an electric coffee mug, that's a lot of money. How about some good news? The UPS has delivered a letter 76 years later. Whoa. Let's see that. On the hill. The hill. Okay, that's better. A letter from an American soldier in Germany was delivered 76 years late. So I always loved how he wrote his E, said Angelina Jean Gonsalves. Well, I imagine that he wrote to this woman and, to his mother, and later to his, okay. I was going to say, wow, I thought it might be a love letter to his wife or his woman, and she's still around. That's amazing. Well, it's amazing she's still around. USPS says they don't know where the letter's been over the past 7 decades or how it ended up at a Pittsburgh facility. I mean, I guess I can understand that. I mean, think about it. They process how many billions of or millions of, or they were processing billions of letters per year, right? Gets lost somewhere. Something's got to get lost, and so got lost. And then maybe now that as UPS and letter writing has gone down, instead of billions, now they're doing maybe 10 million. So something falls out of the cracks. But here's the amazing thing, though. A mail carrier delivered Gonsalves' letter to her home in Woburn, Massachusetts last month. She's still living in the same place. That's pretty amazing. 70 years later? Wow, that's pretty amazing. They met in 1949. Wow, man. How old is this woman? Married for 62 years, passed away in 2015 at the age of 92. Wow. Gloomy weather and unappetizing food. Must have been the rations. Certainly couldn't have been the Schweinhaxen. Oh, I see. So by virtue of some dedicated sleuth work by Postal, so she did move and they just tracked her down. Well, that must be nice. The husband's been away for since 2015, and they get a little reminder of their love for him. That's kind of nice. Of course, the mom never got to know that. So the coffee, the geisha, just nice. Just nice. Nothing. I can't say it was terribly exciting. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, this was a gift. It was gifted to me, so I would love to rave about it. But it's a pleasant coffee. So there's a go. We're getting through the final third. I didn't realize, but we are now 2 hours, 25 minutes. Wow, 26 minutes. Oh, sorry. Hope I'm not keeping you guys too long. Normally, we're done by now. This is a pretty long cigar. 6x60, taking a long time. So we're definitely 2 hours into it. It's a good movie cigar. So what have you guys been watching lately? Anything interesting? I've been catching up on the Navy SEAL, the SEAL team, SWAT, Magnum, the Blacklist. Well, the Blacklist. Oh, the Blacklist is back. We watch it. I like the Blacklist. I still like the Blacklist. So as you know, last season on the Blacklist, they killed off, what's her name? Elizabeth. And she's like one of the most central characters. Like, they killed her. And so I was reading this fan theory last week or the week, actually before the hiatus came. So last month, that one of the fan theories is that all of this is a manipulation by Liz, and she's still alive. Like, she was not really killed at the end of last season. I don't know what you guys think about that. Plausible? Ridiculous? And SEAL team, they're getting a little bit crazy, man. Like, there's a lot of dissension. I think it's kind of interesting. Have you guys started watching Cobra Kai? I watched the first episode, and I watched part of the second one. But it hasn't clicked like the other seasons. Like, I'm not binging it like the other seasons. Alan, if you're still out there, I remember you were talking yesterday. You made a mention about karate, the Cobra Kai, how they were using the Senken mics because you said they were at a tight spacing. I thought that was kind of an interesting insight into production there. It's getting to be a little bit on the harsh side. It's getting a little bit heavy. Cobra Kai, don't get it. That's because you were not a Karate Kid fan. I think you had to enjoy the first movie to enjoy this one a lot. Like, they brought Kreese back last year, and he's taking more of a bigger role this season. I don't really know. I was never a fan of Kreese, so I don't really care whether he's there or not. I kind of prefer not to be there, but whatever happens. And they brought back his sidekick, the guy from Vietnam that he started the Cobra Kai with. But in the second episode, at least the half that I've seen, it really didn't have too much. I mean, we haven't seen what he's doing yet. Have you seen most of it, Tony? Yeah, actually, it's taking a turn now where it's not very enjoyable at all. It's getting more harsh, bitter. Some tar notes are building. Heat is building up a little bit. Ty says he watched the Eddie Aikau documentary. Oh, I didn't know there was one. I'll have to look that up. Just finished episode 9. Oh, you're almost done. You're almost done. I got to catch up. Maybe this weekend. I just haven't grooved it with it as much. Like the other seasons, I was like on it. Like I would like binge like until 3 a.m. Ryan says you could have put the mug on a stand. It should have kept. It would have. It would have definitely done that. But the stand's in the other room. I didn't bring it over here. Oh, okay, good. Well, I hope I'm in that point where, in the second episode, where they're at the Cobra Kai. What's it? Johnny Lawrence's kid has started teaching them, and the guy has decided. Remember, maybe I started the third episode, and the other partner has just come back, or decided that he's going to be back. That's kind of where I was, or am. Eddie would go. In case you're wondering what we're talking about, Eddie Aikau. Eddie Aikau was this very famous Hawaiian surfer back in the 70s and 80s, who was, I believe, I don't even know the story that well, but he was killed I think he was killed riding a wave. Here it is. Let's look him up. But you would see in Hawaii, you'd see a lot of guys riding around. 78. He was killed in 78. He was a Hawaiian lifeguard and surfer. Saved over 500 people. Wow. And he won the Duke Hanamoku Surfing Championship, which is like one of the big like surfing championships in the world. Oh, okay. And he was lost at sea in 1978. The Polynesian Voyage Society did a journey down to follow the migration. He joined as a crew member on the Hokulea. Oh, wow. Okay. Capsized off Molokai, paddled towards Lanai on the surfboard. Oh, wow. Never found. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, here it is. The phrase Eddie would go was because he was a legend that pulled people out of waves that no one had ever dared to. I'm going to have to look that up tomorrow. Or maybe later tonight. But yeah, he's very central to island culture. But I did not know till right this moment that the Eddie would go slogan was because he was willing to go into the surf to rescue people. Oh. Yeah, not so enjoyable. Right now, not so enjoyable. All right, let's get into the scoring here. I'll say flavor has dropped to 6. I'll say body is the same, kind of medium bodied. I thought the burn was very high, nice quality, nice draw. All right, so this is my scoring for this cigar. I'm saying 7 for flavor, fragrance, cold draw. First third, 6.5 and 6.5 for flavor and body. Second, third, same thing, 6.5, 6.5. We had a little bit of a dip, especially towards the end of the last third. So I dropped it down to 6 for the flavor. But body was consistent, so 6.5 still. The burn in the draw, I thought the burn in the draw was actually very good. So 8.5. Consistency, very good, 7.5. And then overall, 7.5. So let's see what that calculates out to. 6.75 for the 6.75 for overall score. I need to check out this drunk history. I'm not familiar with the drunk history. Is that correct? I'm going to do that again. 7 plus 13 plus 13. Okay, yeah, that is right. All right, so I'm saying this is 68.25. That's a pretty dramatic difference than let's say these guys over here at great series. Okay, great. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I mean, these guys, overall impressions 89, 93, 89, 89. We're talking like 30.25 point difference. No, 20.25 difference. Is that right? 20.75 difference. And it's kind of gone out. Which asks the question, would I buy it again? Probably not. Probably not. I'm going to try to relight, though. Because I'm curious. I'd pull up some of those drunk history stuff and look at them here, but that tends to come with copyright problems. Guy's asking, are you ready for the weather Sunday, Monday? Are we going to get more? Are we supposed to get more? Oops. Are we supposed to get more snow? Oh, terrible. Let's see. Baltimore weather. God. Sunday, Monday. Snow and then snow and rain. Oh, great. Actually, it's even though like this past week was pretty darn cold, I kind of enjoy this a little bit. Yeah, I kind of enjoy the weather. I was pretty bitter cold. But are you going to build any fires during these cold weather? Let me know. Let me know one day when you build a fire. I'll dress appropriately so I can come out there. All right, now, here, not enjoyable at all. This is just not enjoyable. All right, that's enough. That's enough of this. That's enough. That's just punishment now. All right, that's good. Let's call it for the, we're going to call it there. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you spending time with us. Again, on Thursday night, we'll be back next Thursday after the snowfall, where it should be 35 and 19 degrees next week. So pretty darn cold. Actually, it looks like we're going to get pretty chilly. Well, no, it's supposed to be 34, 32, then 39, 27, then back 39, 29, 45, 30, and then by Thursday, it drops back down to 35, 19. Gosh. So next week, we're back again with the Oliva Serie V number 135th anniversary. After that, on January 27th, the Plasencia Cosecha number 149. Then February 3rd, we're going to do the Crown Heads Le Patissier. February 10th, we're going to be the Justin Kroll F the FTDA. And then on the 17th of February, the Dapper La Madrina Toro. So that's what's coming up. Down in the descriptions has the listing in case you're interested in getting the cigars before that time comes. So, yeah. Is Eric? I don't know if Eric's on the podcast. He's just sitting at home. I don't know why he's not. All right, so, whoa. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you spending that time with us. We'll be back again next Thursday, 8 p.m. The days are getting longer. Thank you, Jesus, for that. I'm really not a fan of the short days. The cold, I don't mind. It's the short days that I mind. And last check, we're back down to cold brew and 73. So not bad. I think this Ember's not bad. I got a couple more tests to do this in the next couple of days. And then, Brian, I'll get this back to you. Tony, I'll also get the vacuum sealer back to you. Thank you very much for letting me use that. And I finished all the coffee today. That's actually kind of unusual. So maybe the coffee was really good. All right, well, thank you very much. See you next time. Have a great week.